Good morning and welcome to Treetops Raceway Park, home of the crossover. Our sponsor, Merch by Meekin, is proud to present 70 Years of the Corvette, a Diecast racing tournament. This tournament celebrates the 70th anniversary of the Chevrolet Corvette, and each model was represented in this tournament in the beginning. We are down to the final four. Today we will crown the champion. Merch by Meekin is the proud sponsor of the 70 Years of the Corvette Diecast Tournament. They are your source for diecast metal signs, buildings, glassware t-shirts, anything to promote your business. And here we are now at the track. The final four drivers are sitting on the final stretch, waiting for the call to start their engines and head to the top of the hill. I did get a chance to talk to each one of the drivers today, and that will be coming up here next. Here are the top 10 track times with KC from Blue Line, having 5 of those top 10. And now for the driver introductions for the finals. Craigster Sr. from Hot Nets Diecast, from the U.S. in a Hot Wheels 1997 Corvette at 59.9 grams. Craigster Sr. had 3 first place finishes, 6 seconds, and 2 DNFs for a total of 36 points. Jason Miles from Milestone Racing from the U.S. in a Hot Wheels 2020 Corvette at 59.6 grams. Jason accumulated 6 first place, 1 second, 2 thirds, 2 fourths, and 1 DNF for a total of 39 points. KC from Blue Line Racing from the U.S. in a Hot Wheels 1997 Corvette at 60.0 grams. KC accumulated 9 first place finishes and 3 second place finishes for a total of 54 points. And finally, Big Stink from MQH Racing from the U.S. in a Hot Wheels 2005 Corvette at 58.3 grams. Big Stink accumulated 6 first place finishes, 2 second, 1 third, and 3 DNFs for a total of 38 points. I was able to catch up with each one of the drivers in the pit area after they went through tech inspection and asked them a few questions, and here's what each one of them had to say. Craigster Sr., you've been running pretty good at different tracks around the country. What do you owe the success to?
Well, Sneaky Bob, I appreciate the accolades, my friend. Yeah, we've had some pretty good luck lately. Just attribute it to learning from a lot of you fellow builders out there and being invited to a few events and taking in as much info as I can, trying to figure out what's working, what's not. Different tracks. Every track's different, as you well know. Drag racing versus open track, obviously a huge difference there, but you got to be fast on the drag racing, and I've been trying to do the best I can there. Still got a lot to learn, but that all translates to the open track. So you got to apply that knowledge where you can, and don't be afraid to learn something new.
Well, now you've made the finals. What do you have to do to win this whole thing?
Ooh, yeah, I'll tell you what, Bobby. It's going to take me staying off the daggum guardrail for one, and keeping the thing pointed in the right direction. I've had some terrible luck with handling. Car's fast. It's probably too fast. I just had too much pedal in it a couple of times. Got out from under me. Had some bad luck getting squoked out and backed up behind some traffic. If I can get out front and keep it between the fences and off its roof, that'd be a wonderful thing.
Jason, you're pretty new to the diecast racing scene, and you have knocked off some pretty heavy-hitting veterans. What do you attribute this success to?
I've spent a lot of time researching on Red Line Derby and on YouTube, so I attribute most of my success to the information that's been shared there.
Now that you've made the finals, what do you think you have to do to finish this off with the championship?
The competition so far has been really stiff. I'm going to really need to take advantage when I'm on the front row starting and limit my DNFs in order to take home this championship.
Casey, it seems like you're driving like you have something to prove.
You know, we shouldn't have anything to prove at this point. We're one of the fastest diecast racing teams in the world. But we read something recently on one of these fancy YouTube channels that said we were only known for drag track racing. Well, that couldn't be further from the truth, and we're looking to prove that here today.
So you made the finals, KC. What is your strategy to win this tournament?
Well, our strategy here is to take first place when we're out front. When we're starting from the back, avoid chaos. There's some really good teams left in this tournament, and we hope it's going to be clean racing, but the main thing is no DNFs. Win from the front, try to make a pass or two from the back, and we should be in the winner's circle if that could happen.
Big Stank, you seem to be running really well here at Treetops. What do you attribute your success to?
Luck, we'll see. Lots of luck. This is my third or fourth time racing there, and kind of think I'm getting dialed into what it takes to have a good car to run there. And
What do you have to do in the finals to take this championship home?
you can't have any DNFs. You got to finish every race, at least get the 1 point. And then when you start up front, you got to go get the W. You got to get the win.
Well, there you have it, folks. And now let's get down to decide this championship once and for all. So now, the finals, race 1 of 8. You have Jason Miles and Crexter Sr. on the front row, Big Stank and Casey on the back row, and they're off. Looks like Crexter's going to pull the whole shot here, followed by Casey. Jason Miles just did a flip. Got Crexter Sr. riding on top of Big Stank's hood, gets straightened back out. Casey is off for a joyride. Here comes Crexter Sr. in second, Big Stank in third, and here comes Jason Miles in reverse. Casey will lead them into the final turn, and he will come out and take race 1, followed by Crexter Sr. for second, Big Stank for third, and here comes Jason Miles. He will finish fourth. Something happened to Jason as they left that divided track right here. He hits something and completely gets flipped back around. Big Stank completely misses him right here. Crexter Sr. gets pushed into the wall by KC. Then Big Stank gets up underneath him. He eventually falls back down onto the track and continues on. And that's how they will finish. KC first, Crexter Sr. second, Big Stank third, and then Jason Miles for fourth. So no DNFs in race 1. A 9.378 for KC. KC gets another time on the board. So now we have KC with 5, Crexter with 3, Big Stank with 2, and Jason with 1. And now, race 2. We have Crexter Sr. and KC on the front row, Jason Miles and Big Stank in the back row, and they're off. Looks like KC is going to pull the whole shot here, followed by Big Stank. Oh, Big Stank gets into the back of KC, which clogs up everybody. Crexter Sr. gets into Big Stank, and he gets pushed off of the track. We lost Crexter Sr. up there. KC took off and left everybody. KC gets the win. And then eventually here comes Big Stank and Crexter Sr. Big Stank gets second. Sorry, not Crexter Sr., Jason Miles. Crexter Sr. is off at the Lane Automotive turn. Right here you see Big Stank got into KC, which got him squirrely. Crexter Sr. got into him. Jason Miles gets into Crexter Sr. And right there they push Crexter Sr. off of the track in the turn. And he gets hung up on the wall as Big Stank and Jason Miles continue on. And KC will get the win. Big Stank for second. Jason Miles for third. And a DNF for Crexter Sr. Larry will get Crexter back up the top of the hill, get ready for another run. 9.614 for KC. So with that, KC has got a commanding lead after only 2 races of 10, Big Stank with 5, and Jason and Crexter tied at 3. And now, race 3. We have KC and Big Stank in the front row. Crexter Sr. and Jason Miles in the back row. They're off. So KC's got a nice run on the outside. He does get by Big Stank. KC's got the lead. Big Stank in second. Jason Miles in third. Crexter Sr. in fourth. Big Stank was giving KC some bumping, but KC decided it's time to put the foot to the floor. And right there you see Crexter Sr. gets by on the inside of Jason Miles to pick up another spot. KC gets a win. Big Stank for second. Crexter gets third, and Jason gets fourth. Right there you see KC gets on the inside of Big Stank, and right here you see Crexter Sr. and Jason Miles messing around with each other. Jason tried to squawk him. Right there you saw Big Stank getting into the back of KC. But here you're going to see a run from Crexter Sr. on the inside of Jason Miles as they go into the 90-degree under the score tower. And Crexter Sr. comes out on top of that. A 9.506 for KC. So KC, with 3 wins in a row, has 15. Big Stank has 8. Crexter Sr. with 5 and Jason Miles with 1. KC is trying to put this out of touch. The finals, race 4. Here we go. We have Big Stank and Jason Miles in the front row, KC and Crexter Sr. in the back row. They're off. Doesn't look like Jason Miles has the whole shot. He will get the whole shot, but Big Stank gets on the inside along with KC. They get by Jason Miles. Big Stank has got the lead. He's leading KC. KC's trying to make a run on him. KC bumps him going into that 90-degree. But Big Stank will hold off and get the win. KC in second, Jason Miles for third. And here comes Crexter Sr. for fourth. Right here you see Big Stank gets on the inside of Jason. Jason does come down to try to squawk him off, but he can't do it. Right there you see KC's trying to get by Big Stank, but Big Stank is squawking him off. They're heading down, just single file from there on, no passing. KC does get a nice run there, does get into the fender, but nothing doing. And Big Stank will take it home for the win, followed by KC, Jason Miles, and here comes Crexter Sr. A 10.045 for Big Stank. So with that, Big Stank gets a little closer to KC. 18 for KC, 13 for Big Stank, and Crexter Sr. Jason Miles will tie it at 6. Here you go. Got Jason Miles and Crexter Sr. on the front row. Big Stank and KC on the back row. They're off. Looks like Crexter Sr. is going to pull the whole shot here, followed by KC with Jason Miles and Big Stank. Jason Miles just loses it, turns around a full 360 with the help of Big Stank. Crexter Sr. is being pushed by KC into the 90. They'll come out of the 90, do a little hop in there. Crexter Sr. comes around, and he will get the win, followed by KC. Here comes Jason Miles for third, and Big Stank for fourth. Right there you see Jason starts to spin. He gets fully spun backwards, does the 180, then gets hit by Big Stank to finish his 360. KC was looking, but Crexter Sr. was covering everywhere KC wanted to go. A 9.893 for Crexter Sr. So with that, you have KC with 21, Big Stank with 14, Crexter Sr. with 11, and Jason Miles with 8. And now for race 6. You have Crexter Sr. and KC in the front row, Jason Miles and Big Stank in the back row. And they're off. KC is going to pull the whole shot, followed by Big Stank, then Crexter Sr., then Jason Miles. KC has got Big Stank drafting off of him, looking for a way around. KC will take them into the 90, heading into the final turn. KC gets sideways. Big Stank starts to go around him. He can't make it. KC gets back on the gas, straightens it out, and makes it to the finish line for the win. Big Stank for second, Crexter Sr. for third, Jason Miles for fourth. Right here is the only mistake that was made in the race by KC, but he does recover from it and does still get the win. Big Stank tried and tried to get around him, just couldn't make it happen. A 10.022 for KC. So with that win by KC, he is up to 26 points. Big Stank at 17, Crexter Sr. with 13, and Jason Miles with 9. This is almost out of reach. You have KC and Big Stank in the front row, Crexter Sr. and Jason Miles on the back row, and they're off. It's like KC is going to have the momentum on the outside. He does. He gets by Big Stank. Crexter Sr. is following Big Stank, trying to get by. He's going on the outside. Big Stank squawks him off against the wall, but it looks like Crexter Sr. is still going to get by. He does. Jason Miles is in fourth. KC takes that final turn, heading into the finish line. He will get the win. Crexter Sr. is being pushed, and he does still get second. Big Stank tried to get by him, but settles for third. Jason Miles for fourth. Right here you see Crexter Sr. gets on the outside of Big Stank. Big Stank squawks him against the wall and gets him up on the rail. But Crexter does not lift. He continues to fight and makes that pass. Right there you see him up on the rail. And here you see him come out of the corner. And Crexter Sr. maintains that presence to try to squawk Big Stank off. It does make that pass work. And we'll get second place here. Jason Miles will have to settle for fourth. A 9.593 for KC. So with another win, KC is at 31 points. Big Stank at 19, Crexter Sr. with 16, and Jason Miles with 10. And now for race 8. You have Big Stank and Jason Miles on the front row, KC and Crexter Sr. on the back row. And they're off. This is just a victory lap for KC as it goes now. And you have, Big Stank gets by. Jason Miles clogs up and gets into KC and Crexter Sr. It looks like he's got them stuck up at the turn or straightaway. Big Stank is going to lead them down into the final turn. And Big Stank will get the victory. And here you see Jason Miles, Crexter Sr. and KC all with the DNF. Right here you see Jason Miles comes down, tries to squawk KC off. And KC gets him spun completely around. Then Crexter tries to get by both of them on the high side. He gets by KC, but Jason tries to squawk him off, which knocks Jason completely sideways, blocking the track. And Big Stank just takes off to accumulate his second win, and he will come in and take that checkered flag. And there you see Jason, Crexter, and KC all getting help from Larry's Towing Service. A 10.381 for Big Stank. And now with that, KC maintains the 31 points for the championship. Second place goes to Big Stank. Third place to Crexter Sr. at 16. And Jason Miles at 4th. And now in victory circle, KC. Raceway Park would like to take this time to thank all 32 builders for sending cars to the track and for racing with us and trusting us with your equipment. Thanks again. There is still time to sign up for the National Super Truck Series. Currently 57 trucks are signed up. All will qualify. Top 16 move between the 4 tracks. Please like and subscribe to this broadcast so you don't miss any exciting racing action. And as always, thanks for watching.